Daiki. Daiki. Hey? You coming over? Yeah, I'm plugged in. Daiki. Rise of Nation Pride. Evening, Raven. Hope you're doing well. My eyes are so red. They always get red at the end of the day. I think it's a combination of allergies and staring at a computer screen all day. So we're just waiting for a few other people who I know probably might want to hop on. As the title says, we'll be reading again. I'm only doing one chapter every night. Mostly because it's just a lot, you know. It's late, and I already did a 5-hour stream, or not a 5-hour, 3-hour stream. Good thing you can't have anything until 9:20 a.m. tomorrow. By anything, you mean like allergy medication? Look at this guy. Ah, food lab tests. Those suck, man. Hey, look at this guy. He's just grooming himself. Oh. Huh? Nemanja. What? Everything good, bro? New? Yeah, so like I said, I think Anime Hero Gamer Fan will probably hop on, because he always hops on. And that's probably, I don't know if that's exactly when we'll get started. We might get started a little bit earlier, depending on how long it takes him to come in. So for anybody who is new, good evening, or good morning if you live in I'm Brandon, and this is just a bedtime story stream, so all I'm going to be doing is reading. I'm just gonna, we're reading Severing Time and Space, Volume 1, which is my own story. I wrote and published this last year. I just figured I'd read it to people who maybe don't have the money to buy the books. Of course, if you would like to support me, which I hope some of you will, you can always buy the books on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. My own store also sells them. Look at this cutie. Let me pull this off real quick, and just so we can get more of him, because he's wide awake. This is actually pretty rare. Normally he sleeps when I'm doing this. How do I flip the camera? Maybe it's because the chat's open. There, try that. There we go. You can see him just chilling. So that's Daiki. It's my cat. Flip it back over. Alright, I don't know if Anime Hero Gamer Fan is going to be on. At least not soon, so we're going to get started. Once again, Raven, thank you for joining. I appreciate that. So here we are. Maybe I should move this a little bit too, just so you can at least see the book. There we go. The moon hung in the sky, and cicadas chirped their songs. Maria Pascal. Good evening. Hope you're doing well. And cicadas chirped their songs. Almost everyone was in bed by now, except the guards, who were out on patrol. It was their job to ensure no one unauthorized snuck into the clan compound, but they were also making sure the younger clansmen didn't try to sneak out and cause trouble. The younger clansmen always like to push their boundaries, to see how far they can go before the older clansmen will punish them. It wasn't unusual for some of the older teenagers to sneak into a woman's room at night. Ujian had heard many stories of young clansmen and women getting in trouble for having trysts. A few years ago, a young man by the name of Wu He-kong was banished from the clan for sleeping with Wu Mao, who had already been promised to another. Morning, Jordan, evening, Jordan. Evening. Hope you're doing well. The Wu clan was an important faction in Zan City. Being an important clan meant they had a good deal of wealth compared to everybody else, which also meant there were people who wanted to steal from them. Ujian didn't know why anyone would turn to a life of crime, but he had been taught about criminals and capital punishment, since dealing with them was one of the clan heads' many duties. Their duty as a clan was to enforce the laws set down by Emperor Hojun and pay the yearly tax in the form of either currency or crops. There we go. Wujian lay awake in bed, waiting. He strained his ears to listen. No sounds except the cicadas met them, but still, he continued to listen, with only his own breathing to accompany the songs of the night. Finally, it came. A knock at the door. Wujian slipped out from underneath his covers, crept toward the shoji screen door, and pressed his hand against it. "It's a lovely night, isn't it?" he asked. "But not as lovely as me, right?" a girlish voice said back. Grinning, Wujian opened the door just a crack and allowed someone to slip inside. The person turned out to be a young girl with skin whiter than fresh snow, sky blue eyes, pink lips, and hair like midnight. It was Wu Mei Ying, who was grinning at him with pride. "Did the guard spot you?" Wujian asked. Who do you think you're talking to? The guards would never be able to spot me if they trained for 1,000,000 years. Wu Mei Ying crossed her arms and huffed, like she was pouting that he dared ask such a question. "It doesn't hurt to ask. Anyway, make yourself comfortable." "Don't mind if I do." Wujian and Wu Mei Ying crawled underneath the covers of his futon and sat down. It was cold during the winter, and it was even colder at night. Wu Mei Ying's body was practically freezing. Even Wujian hissed and jerked back when he touched her skin. "Gosh, your skin is so cold," he said. "Of course it is. It's cold outside." "Guess I should help warm you up then." Facing each other, Wu Mei Ying placed his hands on Wu Mei Ying's shoulders, or Wu Jian placed his hands on Wu Mei Ying's shoulders and began rubbing her arms to warm them up. He could see her better thanks to the light from the moon. Her face and lips were paler than normal. "My lips are also cold," Wu Meiying patted at him. "Okay, well, I'll warm those up too." Wu Jian leaned over and kissed Wu Meiying, who happily returned it. This was something that his father and mother often did when they thought no one was looking. Wu Jian and Wu Meiying began copying them after seeing them do it several times. His father and mother had both told them they couldn't kiss and tried to explain that it was something only married couples did, but they didn't see the problem. They were going to marry when they were older, after all. Wu Meiying's body became warmer, they both laid down so they were facing each other. Whenever they would meet under the cover of night, they talked about whatever struck their fancy, from what they thought of that morning's lessons to how much older Wu Yiyi looked. "I noticed Instructor Lan doesn't have us do any physical training. Why is that?" asked Wu Jian. Wu Meiying tilted her head in thought. I think it's because you can exercise on your own. You don't need an instructor for that, but you do need someone who can teach you combat." "Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Do you think it might also be to see who among us is willing to take the initiative?" Could be. Maybe they want us to train on our own to prove we're worth spending more resources on." The Wu clan was big in Zan City, but small in the grand scheme of things. They didn't have many cultivation resources. Naturally, that meant the individuals the clan spent those resources on were people who had proven their worth. By the way, did you get a good look at Wu Yi's face today? I think I saw a new wrinkle. He also has less hair. Do you think it's from stress? I don't know about that, but I did hear a rumor that Wu Yang and his flunkies have been caught mistreating the books. They were let off because Wu Yang is Yoshi Shushu's son, and Wu Fei and Wu Ming are grandsons of the elders. Fuchin should think about hiring an alchemist to make Wu Yi's hair growth pills. Hee, do those even exist? Well, I'm sure someone somewhere has made them. When Wu Jian and Wu Meiying were younger, they used to sleep together like this all the time. He didn't remember much about that time. He didn't know much about that time, only what his mother had told him. In either event, that hadn't stopped them from sleeping together. Wu Meiying still snuck into his room every night. He had no idea how she did it. He knew that he couldn't have snuck past all the guards like that himself. It's very easy to slip past them, Wu Meiying said when he commented on this. I just had to memorize what their patrol routes were. I'm pretty sure it's not as easy as you make it sound. Don't the guards have random patrol routes each night? Well, it's easy for me then. I can always figure out what routes they are taking and move around them. See? I think you're just too incredible for your own good. You're incredible too, Wu Meiying said earnestly. Wu Jian shook his head. Nah, I'm not that amazing. He didn't delude himself into thinking he was something special. Wu Jian was just a boy from a small clan with no real prospects. He would grow up, become clan head, and eventually die of old age. Oh, but it was possible Wu Yang would become clan head instead, in which case Wu Jian would likely be banished or relegated to a role of a servant. He shuddered at the thought. But you are. Wu Meiying scooted closer until they were nose to nose. I don't think you realize how much potential you have. I know that you can become the strongest person in the entire world. Well, if you're the one saying it, I guess I have no choice but to believe it, Wu Jian said with a grin. Wu Meiying had never been wrong about anything before. Back when they were just 4, she had told him that Jiagugu would give birth to fraternal twins and name them Han and Lin. He hadn't believed her at the time. However, Jiagugu had given birth to twins 8 months later and had indeed named them Han and Lin. There was also the time she said Wu Yang would get in trouble for attempting to steal a Wu clan scroll from the inner library and show it off to his friends in Zan City. Then, 2 days later, he was punished with 6 months of latrine duty for attempting to sneak out with a Wu clan technique scroll. She had made many such predictions, and each one of them had come true. Wu Meiying was never wrong, so whenever she said something, Wu Jian always believed her. I'm very glad we decided to do some more research on cultivation, Wu Meiying said in a whisper. We're not supposed to learn how to cultivate until much later, but I believe it will help you grow stronger. Knowledge is power, after all. Yeah, we should begin doing those exercises described in the scroll, Wu Jian said. Wu Meiying nodded. Instructor Lan has only been teaching us the Wu clan martial arts and how to fall properly. He isn't helping us train our bodies, and I don't think the Wu clan's martial arts suits you anyway. Training on our own will prove more effective than just doing what everyone else is doing. The Wu clan's martial arts training was formulaic and designed to teach everyone the same forms. But Wu Meiying said she believed different people needed different training methods and different martial arts to reach their full potential. Wu Jian agreed with her. What martial arts do you think would suit me? Asked Wu Jian. Wu Meiying's eyes fluttered. I'm not sure. I know it's not what we're learning right now. You need something fierce and powerful. A tiger that can tear apart the heavens. Wu Meiying's eyes drooped more and more, and she yawned between words. Wu Jian also felt tired, so he scooted a little closer until their foreheads were touching and slowly closed his eyes. They would have to wake up early tomorrow and begin training. As he slept, Wu Jian dreamed of a young boy who fell in love with a beautiful woman. He didn't know who the woman was. Her face was blurry. All he could make out was her silhouette. But the longing he felt in the dream made him think she was somehow important to him. Something about her felt familiar, but he couldn't put his finger on it. Jian Bao, Mei, it's time to wake up. Wu Jian groaned as he opened his eyes. It felt like he had barely gotten any sleep at all, the dream still lingering in his mind's eye. He blinked several times as his blurry vision swam into focus. Right in front of his face was the slowly waking Wu Meiying, whose long, black eyelashes contrasted wonderfully with her white skin. He took a moment to admire her, as he often did when his mind was addled. Are you two going to sleep in bed all day? Come on, it's time to get up. Then the voice that had woken him spoke again. Wu Jian jerked in shock and turned to find his mother staring at him with an amused smile. For a moment he was at a loss for words. Wuqin, I can explain this, he said, breaking out into a cold sweat. His father had forbidden him and Wu Meiying from sleeping together, but they had disobeyed those orders, and now his mother had walked into his room to catch them fast asleep next to each other. It felt similar to that time he had tried to eat his father's birthday cake immediately after the clan chef had made it. The scolding he received back then had left him cowering in fear. She's not gonna punish us, is she? Maybe we should have been more careful. May is usually good at waking up before everyone else and sneaking back into a room. Why didn't she do that this time? Was she that tired? What am I gonna do? What can I do?" "I'll bet you can, but there's no need," his mother said with a gentle but funny smile. "There isn't?" Wu Jian asked tentatively. "There isn't," Wu Meiying said, sitting up and rubbing her eyes as she yawned. "I told Tialian to wake us up in the morning." "Why would you do that?" asked Wu Jian. "Because we're going to train, right?" said Wu Meiying with a smile. Then she bowed her head to his mother. "Good morning, Ailian Ai." "Good morning, you two." You know, your father would be furious if he knew you were both still sleeping together," his mother said. "But you won't tell him, right?" asked Wu Meiying with a knowing smile. "You won't?" Wu Jian tilted his head in befuddlement. His mother shook her head, smile still in place. "I won't. We will keep this a secret between us, though you will have to stop sleeping together like this after you both turn 10 at least. Anyway, now that you are both awake, I'll take my leave. Breakfast will be served in a couple of hours. Don't be late." After his mother left the room, Wu Jian turned to Wu Meiying, who was rubbing her eyes as she crawled out of the futon. She was only wearing her white underdress, but she quickly grabbed a pink Confu rukun and slid it onto her shoulders. Wu Jian walked over and lent her a hand. She smiled at him. "You should get dressed in a training gi," Wu Meiying said. "Right." Wu Jian had several training gis, all in black and white. He chose one and dressed quickly, grabbed a small sack, then followed Wu Meiying outside. They had to be careful when slipping out of the building. Several Wu clan members were patrolling the courtyard, but they were sneaky and managed to reach a small patch of forest where no one would bother them. Zon City was located past a pair of mountains called the Twin Fangs, because they looked like a pair of monster fangs. The Wu clan's compound was located half an hour's travel from Zon City by carriage, and close to a heavily forested region surrounding the mountains. Wu Jian had been told the forest was home to many magical beasts, but he had never seen one before. Steam emerged from his mouth as he followed the girl leading him. "Did you bring the scrolls with you?" asked Wu Meiying. "Of course," Wu Jian said as he set the sack on the ground and opened it to reveal several scrolls. "Then let's get started." Wu Meiying grabbed the first scroll, marked with a character for 1, and unfurled it. She studied it for a moment before nodding. "This one talks about the need for endurance and staying limber. Looks like we'll be doing stretches first and then going for a run." Wu Jian followed along with Wu Meiying as she led them through a series of stretches. Some of them were very simple, but a few were more complex, and Wu Jian found he couldn't do all of them. His saving grace was that there were many stretches his companion couldn't do either. I guess we'll work on these for a while before we can do them all perfectly," Wu Meiying said with a giggle. "We're just not limber enough," Wu Jian agreed, sighing as he placed his hands on his hips. "Anyway, let's go on that run." "Let's do 15 laps around this clearing," Wu Meiying suggested. Wu Jian didn't know exactly how big the clearing was, but it was definitely big. He thought it might be at least the same size as the Wu clan's training hall. That would make a good run. He wondered if they would even be able to do 15 laps. Did they have the stamina for that? Did he? They began running around the clearing. Wu Jian started off at a fast pace. He wanted to show off how determined he was to get stronger, but this backfired on him quickly when he lost steam, huffing and puffing long before he reached the end of their goal. He had never run like this before. His body simply couldn't handle it. Oh. Are you okay? No, I feel sick. That's because you tried to run at full speed. Wu Mei Ying rolled her eyes, rubbing Wu Jian's back as he dry heaved. Weren't you listening when I read the scroll? It says we need to start off light and work our way up. I know that, but I just really want to get stronger. Wu Jian muttered as his cheeks heated up. He thanked the heavens it was so cold that he could blame his redness on the temperature instead of embarrassment. Which I am glad for, Wu Meiying said, voice gentle. But that's also why you can't push yourself too hard yet. You need to build up your strength. You're right. I'm sorry, Wu Jian said. They did several more exercises, including push-ups, pull-ups, squats, staggered squats, and a whole lot more. Wu Jian was unable to do more than a few of each. He felt winded every time they finished one set, and needed several minutes to rest. Still, he persevered, even though he felt like he was dying inside. Was it always going to be like this? He could see why so few people bothered to exercise. It was a pain. The only silver lining he could find was that Wu Mei Ying also could not finish her exercises. Her face was red with exertion by the time they were done, and just like him, her skin was coated in a layer of sweat. It had been dark before, but now light filtered in through the forest, casting shadows in the shape of intertwining branches along the ground. The cold air had warmed, but there was still a chill in the air. It felt like the drops of sweat on his skin were freezing over. Wu Jian looked up to find the sun had risen sometime during their training. I think that's enough for today. Let's wipe off all this sweat and head to the dining hall for breakfast, Wu Meiying suggested. Wu Jian had never heard such beautiful words. Alright, that is the end of chapter 3. You can see now we got chapter 4, which means we will be saving the rest of this for tomorrow. So I appreciate you guys joining me for this. Don't know how many people are on here. I'm gonna pop that off real quick. There we go. Don't know how many people are on here. Don't know how many people like listening to me read. Don't even know how clear my voice is. But to everyone who joined me, I do appreciate it. I want you to know that. And I hope that you enjoyed listening. Now, I'm going to send you all off with my cute kitty, who's not quite asleep yet. Huh? Yeah. Alright. Thank you guys again for joining me. I will see you all later. If you want to watch me stream, I will be on again tomorrow in the around 12 o'clock in the afternoon Mountain Standard Time, because I live in Arizona. Oh, hello. But yeah, you guys have a good one. I'll chat with you all later. Night.